midst of March Madness, and it's more than just about basketball, right? Well, this year we're going to help you fill out your bracket and pick your final four of retirement. And to help us with the play-by-play is Tony Drake, he's the founder of Drake & Associates and wealthwisconsin.com. Basically says no matter what your age, you should really be thinking and planning ahead for retirement, correct? And a lot of Americans really aren't doing that, right, Tony?
That's right. Unfortunately, they're not. A survey that came out this week showed us 28% of retirees said they're not at all confident that they're going to be ready for retirement. That's a huge problem. You know, we work with a lot of retirees and folks approaching retirement, and many retirees used to use the old 4% rule, which said if you take out 4% or less of your retirement account per year, you'll never outlive your money. We're finding out that formula is failing 50% of the time, so it's a great time to meet with the professional and make sure your plan's on track.
Wow, you got some great tips for us, so let's get into the bracket here. Let's start off with the matchups in the Final Four, saving for retirement versus borrowing to pay for college. Let's talk about that.
You know, this is actually a pretty easy one, although a lot of parents get this wrong. When we're working with our clients, we try to remind them about this. You know, I'm a parent of 3 beautiful children. I think like most parents, you know, we want to give our kids every advantage we can. But the reality for folks is we can borrow for retirement. We can borrow for college, but we can't borrow for retirement. So if it comes down to making a choice between the two, saving for retirement definitely wins this bracket.
That's a little hard to do sometimes, and a lot of people are dealing with debt. So let's go into the next matchup, paying off debt. That's up against living with debt. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, you have to go with your gut on this one. A recent survey showed us about 2/3 of Americans have said that debt's a major problem in their lives. You know, we're not just talking about credit card debt and student loans, we're also talking about mortgages. When we're working with our retirees, we're constantly talking about eliminating that mortgage. By eliminating that big monthly nut that you have to pay, really makes it a lot easier to do the things you want to do that you've dreamed about doing in retirement.
Retirement debt, you know, another one that affects everyone here is the 401k. So let's talk about maxing out your 401k versus going beyond the max there.
You know, many of us are lucky enough to have an employer that's still contributing. It's been a tough couple of years for a lot of businesses and people alike. You know, and if you do have an employer that contributes, it's very important that you at least contribute so you're getting your max. That's free money. We don't get free money in many places around, but you know, if you can afford it, this year you can contribute $17,500 to your retirement account, your 401k. If you're 50 or older, you can actually contribute another $5,500. So I know that's tough for folks, but I work with retirees every day and I see the vast gamut. Some of them are telling us, boy, I made the sacrifices early on and they're living their dreams now. Some of them are just skimping by on Social Security, and I don't think you want to work 40, 50 years to do that.
Well, and let's talk a little about making the vision into reality here. Let's talk about thinking about retiring versus just kind of picturing it.
You know, this one might throw you for a loop. New York University recently did a study, and they found that actually picturing retirement makes a huge difference. You know, what do we mean by that? You know, do you want to have a second home down south and live down there in the winter? Do you want to live close to the kids and grandkids? Or would you prefer to, you know, work with a charity, something you believe in, you know? And so it's important to picture it. I think that helps you make the sacrifices you need to make. And just like we saw with Marquette here in the March Madness, it all comes down to the final score. And when it comes to retirement, knowing your score is important. Yes. You can do that with the retirement calculator like you can find at our website, wealthwisconsin.com.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Tony. Definitely some wonderful tips to kind of help us get our finances in order. And obviously, we can always go to your website for those tips as well.
You got it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks a lot, Tony.
Appreciate it.
All right.